Hey guys, Attorney Walter Knott, we are live. We had a little issue before where we couldn't get the sound working, and the video we did before this, it kept buffering. But now we have the iPad out on a music stand outside, literally reporting to the computer. So, with that said, good sir, remember to use a fake name. Walk me through what's the question again that you have?
About social media. My concern is that you said that they can go into your Facebook and look at all that kind of stuff, and I am on SSI, but I kept the Messenger after getting rid of the social media. It's a little bit different looking at it and talking to her on a video chat, but she sends me pictures of intimate pictures. Do they have access to that as well? Would they be able to, delve into my personal pictures and things of this nature with my fiance?
So basically, here's the thing. It's a special agent on behalf of the federal government that is sponsored and funded through the Ssdi, or rather the Ssdi units on behalf of the Office of Inspector General, who is all under the Social Security Commissioner under the SSA, the Social Security Administration. So if they wanted to and they believe that you were, actually not disabled or doing things beyond your impairments, they could go ahead and get a warrant and search deeper into the programs to get information specifically from the corporations that host those programs. So, they could go a further level beyond just a general search of your name and seeing what pops up. They could then go ahead and request the information. It takes about 15 minutes for them to, through these programs, go ahead and get all of your detailed information, any intimate pictures, things like that, once they have a warrant. So yes, they do have the capacity to do that. Should you use a program to communicate through that erases information every time you talk, and as a result of that, never has anything stored, yes, that would be the safest way to go forward.
Okay, so just erase all the any kind of pictures that I don't want anybody to see, and then I won't be able to see them anymore myself, because that's something that just keeps us going, because we're obviously in love. So that's something that would be important to us. So what program would erase all of that?
I mean, to erase what's there, that's already there, is there forever. Like, that's the thing. You can erase it, but it's going to sit on their servers in an archive pile for so many years until they decide to get rid of it. So kind of the bottom line is, you have to go out and find a new program that you feel comfortable with that will allow you to go ahead and basically, communicate, but that they erase all of your information. Be smart. Like, if you're searching stuff on the internet, like you want to, or let me ask you this: what's your main impairment?
Blind, legally blind. I can still see you, but it's extremely blurry.
Okay, gotcha. So bottom line is, like, if you're out there, trying to buy, something that requires a lot of, really good eyesight, trying to, I don't know, buy a Frisbee or something, then automatically that's going to draw interest of, well, if he's blind, how is he going to use a Frisbee? Or, for example, a bow and arrow. If he's blind, how is he going to shoot a bow and arrow? So just be aware, like, stay away from Google, Yahoo searches, go with like DuckDuckGo, things like that. And then they have specific programs that hide your communications so that other people can actually see what's going on. Just do a couple of searches, see what you feel, okay with, and then for the web browsers, there's things like Brave, there's things like DuckDuckGo, etc. And you can always use those.
Right. And I've also, I've heard you state other people riding motorcycles and they're supposed to be blind and everything. And I do have a bicycle. It's an e-bike. And but people, they don't understand that you can still see. It's just blurry. You can see cars coming down the road, but it's just a little bit blurry. But I've just stopped riding altogether, which takes away a lot of my independence. And that it just seems so evasive. I mean, that they've just taken over my life simply because I'm handicapped. I mean, it just seems like there's no bounds for their what they want to do to disrupt your life. And I mean, I'm not even able to go over to the Philippines and spend my life with her until I'm 62, and I have to live over here. And if I live there, the cost of living would be so much easier. and just, things of this nature. But they just totally said, no, we're giving you money. You need to do whatever we ask you to do. So would you recommend just continue to not ride my bike at all?
I mean, this is what I would say. Be very careful, because if they're already reviewing you, they'll follow you because they're special agents. So, all of a sudden, and you're not going to see them because you're not going to know, you're not going to A, know when to look for them, and B, your eyesight's not going to be able to see them due to the impairment you have. So it's one of those things,
Right.
And you're not going to know which days they're doing it, but it's one of those things where you got to keep in mind, like, Social Security disability benefits are supposed to be non-adversarial, but every year they become more adversarial, even though they're supposed to be non-adversarial. Similar to that, VA benefits are supposed to be non-adversarial, but there's a big difference between like disability benefits for civilians and disability benefits for retired. And that disability benefits for the retired, they have like a benefit of the doubt clause that goes in the favor of the veteran, right? Whereas there's no benefit of the doubt clause in the favor of the disabled in general. Like there's little ones like, if we're not sure if this person's homeless or not, we usually give it to them. If we're not sure if they're suicidal or homicidal, we usually give them the red tag. But beyond that, there's no generalized, hey, we're going to give the benefit of the doubt to the civilian. Only in VA law do they have that. Also, they don't want to pay all these people to be on disability benefits. And as a result of that, they keep trying to find ways to kick people off of the program because they average $300,000 to $400,000 per person. That's a young kid that goes on to SSI over the lifespan of that person. That's a lot of taxes to be paid in by people that then gets paid to that one person. So you got to understand, it's one of those situations where the government does not want to have as large of a disability program. They're okay with having a disability program. They just don't want to have as many people on it and have to pay for them. That's the reasoning.
Got it. And it just seems like you've talked about it recently. I haven't really heard too much before. Beginning of the year, maybe you did, about this influx of agents who are, looking for people now, a lot more of them. When did it actually begin? I know they've always had some agents, but I've been on it now for a couple of years, and this is the first I've heard of it. And so this huge amount of extra agents that they have now, when did that actually begin?
So basically, and let me pull up the report real quick. I can kind of find when they started. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it right when it started, but let me check real quick. The program launched in 1997 through the current day. That's when they launched the CDI option program under the OIG, Office of Inspector General. It's been growing and growing since. One of the commissioner's new releases is that they're adding even more CDI offices. They're in every state, I think, but one, and there's multiple ones now in every state. So kind of the bottom line, there's like a CIA of special agents just for the Social Security Administration. That's basically what we have now.
All over the United States, from one state to another, they're like crossing state boundaries and trying to,
Oh, they don't need to.
Pay for it.
Yeah, they don't need to cross state boundaries. They have literally special agents in every single state. Like imagine the CIA, and now imagine the CIA like a mini special satellite unit in every state, and in some states in multiple cities.
Well, I know that I think you were the one who said that there was like 8 million people on SSI.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would mean that they would need a lot more than that just to keep covering everybody who's on it, as well as those who are getting on it and adding to the roles. So they must have a lot of people they're paying, and they have to pay for themselves. So they're looking at any little big thing that they can find to say, oh, look, he walked 5 steps there, and so he's fine. He should go get a job. But it just seems so counterproductive, because if you take away that money that we earn now, especially since we're making a little bit more with the COLA, it seems to me like that's going to take away from the economy, and because people are not going to be able to spend that money to get on the disability to be able to provide their needs, because I will be, if they do this to me, if they take away my disability, they'll be signing my death sentence, because I cannot be homeless. I cannot live on the street in a tent and a sleeping bag in 40-degree weather, 50-degree weather. I mean, I'm just not built for that. And I just, it just breaks my heart of all the other people who are out there struggling, and they're really legitimately, having a problem mentally as well as physically. I mean, I have bipolar disorder. I've got PTSD, and I'm just, but right now I'm having problems sleeping over this, thinking that they're going to come get me and criminalize me or take away my money, and I'll just won't be able to provide for my fiance and her 4 girls who I'm sending money to. So it's a nightmare. This is a living nightmare, and it's just not right that they treat people this way, as if they're criminals when they're not. But I continue to go see my doctor, doctors, my psychiatrist, and my back doctor. I used to lift these con gears onto trailers, connecting them 22, 27-foot trailers down until I started, working at a yard for Ashley Furniture, and having to make it so that I put where they needed to be, and then I noticed I started hitting trailers with the trailer that I was transporting, and I think, why am I hitting that trailer? And so it just became apparent that my eyesight was going, and so I want to keep going on, because I'm sure there's other people that need to stay to talk, but I'm just I applaud you for at least warning us. But I pretty well just stay in my room now, and anything that I can have delivered, I just have it delivered to the door, and I'm able to hopefully just avoid these people who are out to get me. But the problem is, of course, they're going in on social media now and infiltrating us through our computers, and I can't lose communication with my fiance.
Well,
I'll let you.
Yeah, let me give you a side note to it, which is, what they're thinking when they look at this. If they kick 2 or 3 people off of disability benefits as a result of their investigations, they've just paid for a special agent. If they can kick, let's say 10 people off, they've just paid for a small special agent division to, get him rolling. Yeah, so it makes sense on their end. Yeah.
That's the incentive to pay for their way. So if they want to keep their job, they have to find someone or create a problem here. I'm trying to just keep my sanity. And the cell now is a small room that I live in. And whenever I have to go out, I take my cane with me. I'm very cautious about my environment, because I have to sometimes go out and see my doctor or whatever. But it's just something that I guess I'll have to put up with. When you turn 62, then you can retire normally. But I'm 58 now, so I still have several years. But did you say something the other day about people on SSI being able to go to other countries? Were you giving a talk on that?
I actually have the whole report that I'm going to do on that video right here. Keep in mind, I had to drive for 22 hours yesterday, so I'm a little bit beat.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh my gosh.
But I have all the national statistics right here per state and also outside of the country that I wanted to do a video on. So specifically outlining what it's like in each state, specifically outlining what it's like in each country, where SSI, where SSDI is possible, all those things. And there's another thing I want to point out too, is that you potentially are on a higher list of individuals who could potentially be reviewed, because you're low income, SSI only, sending funds overseas to a person. Have you ever met this person in person? Like, have you ever physically, has she been to the US?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, she hasn't been here. I've been there for a month.
Okay.
And that's when I fell in love with her.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, basically, like, keep in mind there's different things that cause an investigation into an individual. Like if a person automatically started living in Cuba, that would be an instant bell ringer for them to say, okay, we need to investigate this. And they even have it on their website that there's special provisions for when somebody can receive Social Security funds when they go to one of these hotspot nations. That nation you speak of is not one of those. But I do know a lot of individuals who end up moving there and living a good life because the bottom line is it's cheaper to live there, and they they can usually find somebody to get along with really well and live a great life. And I mean, it's a beautiful nation, beautiful tropical area. But yeah, good sir, just be really careful. Yeah.
Yeah, I will. I promise. But I can't even go there now because of the pandemic, obviously, and we've been put on this a ban for being able to go over there. I can't. I don't really know if they're going to be able to look at where I sent the money through Western Union or not. Is that something that they would look into? And
they could track that. Yeah, absolutely. They could track that if your name's attached to it for an international money order. They could totally track that. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like a computer, and I just put the money in there through the Walgreens, and then they send it to her. That way, I mean, she was not destitute, but hoping that won't be a problem.
Yeah, no worries. Well, sounds good, sir. You have a wonderful night, okay?
Okay, bless your heart. You're my prayers, and when I can afford some money, I'll send it your way. And I know that you're kind of just helping a lot of people, and we all think very highly of you. So just keep up the good work. Thank you so much.
Well, good sir. Yeah, don't worry about the funds. It's totally fine. If you ever get a chance to send me some pictures while you're over there, I would absolutely love to see them. I love photos of these beautiful island-like countries, and I myself ended up living on a big island. But I always wanted to. Honestly, I watch YouTube videos of these places all the time. But
oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
you've got to go to the Philippines. The people are so nice, and they're always smiling.
I know.
And we're like giants compared to them.
I know.
They're
Yeah.
so sweet.
Yeah. No,
my fiance is no exception. She's really nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself.
You as well, good sir. Have a wonderful night.
You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, guys, so let's call back the other person real quick. And keep in mind, I'm fading a little bit tired, but I should be okay. I had some bite. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Knott. Can you hear me okay? Oh. Well, I've got to go ahead and call it back because it went right to, there's a bunch of missed calls. Hold on. Let's see what we can do here. Let's see if we can get this thing rolling. We've got the first ring going. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Knott. We're live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name. Would you like me to answer a specific question or run hearing questions with you?
Hey, this is Mike down here in West Virginia.
Okay.
Social Security disability.
Okay.
And I've been working with Rehabilitation Services a couple times here in West Virginia. And, I've got some problems, to where I don't think I could probably work for somebody because stuff happens. Seizures and stuff like that. But they're willing to work with me getting a small business going. Is this smart of me? Because what it does, it's working through the WIPA program. And Small Business Administration, they basically set you up with grants and stuff like that, being disabled for a small business, and somehow it eventually get you off of Social Security disability with a small business.
Yeah. So here's the deal. It's smart so long as you've legally entered into a ticket to work program contractual agreement with a regional field office rep before you do all that. And here's why. If you don't, you're going to make more than $1,350 a month, SGA, substantial gainful activity. And then you're going to kill your benefits for those months and have an overpayment against you. So have you already begun the process of speaking with the local SSA field office to set up an appointment to do a ticket to work program analysis to see if they'll do it?
Done it yesterday.
Okay. How did it go?
Yeah, I gave myself an A minus.
Yeah, good.
I was amazed at the money that, my dream and reality, I actually did a little bit of research on the WIPA program and looked at some of the things that they funded. I seen like millions of dollars that this WIPA program was putting out there to help people, with disabilities like me to start some kind of small business. And I was totally shocked. I figured it'd help out, with some kind of computer or something, No, they're actually helping these people get little small businesses going. And it works with the Small Business Administration, grant money and state and federal monies. But it's, a very large step, and I don't know if I can do it. And I guess that's where the rehab services come in. They'll take and they ask me a lot of questions, about my health and stuff like that. And we went over that in depth. There is some worries and concerns on my part, whether I'm going to be able to do it. I get into this, they get me set up with this business. Am I going to be able to do it? And what happens?
What type of business are you looking to do?
Maybe a restaurant or something like that, restaurant management.
Whew, man, that's tough.
I don't think I can do any labor or anything like that.
What kind of restaurant are we talking about?
Maybe an Irish seafood type thing.
Okay, so that's tough, man. Most restaurants go out of business within the first 3 years, and on top of that, you are on your feet from you don't have regular hours. You have 15 to 18-hour days as a restaurant owner. Are you sure that's the industry you want to go into?
Well, I can't think of anything else. And there ain't a lot to offer here in West Virginia. We're like 20 years behind everybody else. I don't know. I guess that's what the rehab people in that extensive interview was about, whether I'm going to be able to do it or not. But they're eager to help me do something. I hadn't got to the business plan part yet. But I guess they'll tell me whether I can do that or not, or if I need additional training or additional help in some ways. I guess it's scary. I'm just scared to death that it's going to screw up everything, and now I'm end up with nothing. That's my fear.
So you want to own a business that's basically going to be a restaurant. What was the location that you had in mind?
West Central, West Virginia, along the High River. I don't even, to be honest with you, I don't even know if it'd be a restaurant. I don't know what if I'm going to be able to do anything, actually. I got these damn seizures and things that happen. And when I go to work for somebody, I kind of keep that a secret. And then it happens, and it's over with,
Yeah. That happens to a lot of people. They try to work, and then it just falls apart. But I would say this. There are certain jobs that disabled individuals, when it comes to seizures, do particularly well. Those are not high time crunch oriented jobs where you have your time to do things. These are jobs where you can stay at home and do them. Frankly, jobs that people with seizures have that they tend to be really good with are buying and reselling items. So like, for example, going to a store, buying an item and then reselling it at a higher price on Amazon, or for example, knowing somebody that's local, doing a deal where you set up the items to be sold and then selling them. Those are all things that people with seizures excel at. I know a couple of people who have basically gone that route, and they do well. They they make a lot more than what they would get on their SSDI benefits, or even especially SSI. So yeah, man, that's an option. If you ever want to call me or call me again on one of these Thursday night shows, even though it's Friday, but Thursday night we usually do it. If you ever want to call me and run some ideas by me, I'm more than happy. Because frankly, a lot of people run business ideas by me, and I have the legal background. I have the business, the MBA, master's in business as well. So, and I own a law firm. I've owned it for 8, now going on 9 years. So I could probably give you some ideas on, like you'll have to have a CMS program, client management system. You'll have to have a POS system, a point of sale system. You'll have to know how to basically do computer interaction, have a system where you can have Wi-Fi wherever you are, or cellular wherever you are, a laptop, have a place where you can store items if you're going to sell them. If you want to do some sort of food restaurant oriented store, you're going to have to make sure that it's up to code, accessible for the disabled, and that you have multiple backup providers when it comes to the types of food, and multiple backup cooks and other, and staff. How much seating is there going to be? How are you going to afford the building? All that kinds of stuff. So super duper crucial.
My reality dream is probably going to get crushed in a restaurant. When at my meeting yesterday, she went over with me all my extensive, all my employment that I had and the stuff like that, and my training and my college and all that I've had. And yeah, I'm sure reality is going to kick in for me. But I need to do something. I'm starving to death here. With being on disability, you choose between either having a vehicle or renting a home. And that's just it is. But I'll keep you up to date. I'll call back in when you're back on live and let you know how things are coming. But I'm going to pursue it. It may not be the restaurant thing, but it'll be something. And I appreciate you being here for us. I really do.
Absolutely, good sir. Well, you have a wonderful night, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let's see. Let me see, guys, if I can figure out. All right, guys, I'm trying to figure out. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to call back this person. Here we go. Let me see if I can get them on the phone real quick. Okay, and we're ringing. Also, Shirley, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Knott. We are live on the YouTube channel. Remember to use a fake name. Would you like me to go ahead and basically, run hearing questions with you, or answer a specific question related to your claim?
Well, this is John. I did send you an email. Did you say you were going to read the email, or you just want me to ask you some questions?
All right. So here's the deal. Let me go. Did you text me the email real quick? Or rather, can you text me what the email is? That way I can look up the email real quick and see what's going on with it. Or actually, I might be able to find it by your name that you sent in there. Hold on. Let me just check real quick. Remember to not use your name on this system. I don't have the email here. Your name might not be in it. Let me check. When did you send the email?
January the 1st.
Oh man. All right. Let me. All right. Can you resend the? All right. Is it a long story or a short story?
It's a little bit long, but I think I could digest it by talking to you.
Okay. Give me the quick fact pattern.
Yes. Back in 2017, I filed for disability.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I did not have any resources, so I was being assisted by the state, and they referred me to legal services.
Okay.
And for me to file for SSDI. And I was being represented by a paralegal. And when we finally went for the hearing, she did not prep me at all. Mm-hmm. And while the judge was asking me questions and talking to the vocational expert, mm-hmm. she never said anything at all.
Okay.
And once the judge made the ruling, I was denied. She told me that she could not do anything else for me because she didn't see anything in the ruling that could be overturned.
Okay.
And so I was a little bit disappointed by that. However, I did have an acquaintance who had recently won their case after it was remanded back to ALJ from the federal court.
Mm-hmm.
And she recommended her attorney to me. So I went to see him, and we did send the case to the appeals council.
Mm-hmm.
And I was denied again.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And so once I was denied, the lawyer filed a case in civil court.
Mm-hmm.
And he also had me reapply for a second time. And I did win that case back in December of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And they claimed that they found me disabled going back to December 2019. And of course, I had that 5-month delay of getting benefits.
Mm-hmm.
So when I did get when I won the second case, I spoke to my lawyer, and I asked him, I said, can you give me any information about the progress of the suit? And he told me that he had filed it in September of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And he said to me, I don't have to do anything, just sit back and relax, and he'll let me know what the outcome is. Well, I spoke to him this past July. I had a question to ask him about something else, and I did mention about the case.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, oh, yes, I filed it back in November 2020. So just out of curiosity, a couple of months ago, I decided to go online to see if I could find anything, in the court system.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, I came across Case Monitor. I'm sure you're familiar with
Yeah.
that website.
Gives you a timeline. Yeah.
And this is what I found out. So it showed that the attorney filed the case back in September 2020. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then, let me just look at it here real quick, and I'll be able to tell you. So it stated that it was filed in September 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And then in November 2020, it was closed. And I remember when he filed the case, because I was on public assistance at the time, I didn't have any funds. And so he told me that there would be a $400 filing fee, which I did not have.
Yeah.
And he did say to me that the court could waive it because of my situation.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, I found out that the case was closed like 2 months later in November.
Okay.
And then the judge asked him or gave him a deadline to file it, I think, by the end of December of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And he never did. Anyway, fast forward, the case was reopened in May of this year. I mean, of 2021. And it's been progressing. And the last thing that I can see here is in December, he asked for an extension to file a moving brief. I have no idea what that is.
Mm-hmm. That just means a motioning brief, but yeah, no biggie.
Yeah. And another thing I found out about this particular law firm, they have been admonished by the court for filing briefs late.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically my question is this, Walter.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to contact my attorney and ask him, why was this delay? Why didn't he notify me? And how should I go forward with this? I mean, I want to have a good relationship with my attorney, but at the same time, I think he should be honest and keep me abreast of any delays.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so real quick, I did a search based on your name, and I think I found it on, the Pacer Monitor, which you're looking at. Just give me a second to look through it. So I see there was an order denying basically the $400 payment. They had so many days to go ahead and file the payment. They then kind of blew through that a little bit. Okay, I see comes before the court. Did not pay the filing fee until 8. Okay, Cronin claims directed to make a written submission to the court showing cause for the delay. So that's the first screw up. Let's see. Complaint against commissioner filed, blah, blah, blah. Plaintiff counsel in light. Serve. Okay, so basically here's the second one. So that's in 2021 May. That's another issue.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, they're supposed to come together with the briefs. Okay, so I'm seeing that. There's your certificate. Wow, certificate of service was that late. Commissioner request for state extension. So then he's asking for more extension to file a brief on the 17th.
Mm-hmm.
This is not how it normally goes. I guess is all right. So you want to know how to approach the attorney without pissing the attorney off, right?
Precisely, yes.
Okay, gotcha. You guys always give me such simple questions.
Okay. Before you answer the question, this is what I also wanted to ask you. I'm actually in the process of sending him a letter, updating my mailing address.
Yeah.
And I was also going to copy that same report and send it to him and let him know that I would like to speak to him directly. And I don't know if that's something I should do, so I'm just waiting to see. I'm basically trying to get your guidance in this matter.
All right, so let me just get some basics out of the way. Of course, when you file the federal district level, you also filed a new claim, correct?
That's what I did, and I did win the second claim.
Okay, so the second claim has been won. Do they even know that the second claim has been won?
Yes, he's aware of it. He also got paid too. Yes.
Okay, cool. So bottom line is the only thing that's of issue here, and I want you to write this down. Number one question: what is your new amended alleged onset going to be? What is your new amended alleged onset going to be?
Okay.
Question number two: what arguments are you making in your brief with the commissioner's attorney to be submitted to the judge?
Okay.
Because he's going to write a brief and they're going to write a brief, and then they have to combine them, and then they submit it to the judge. Right. The next question you're going to want to ask is, why was the $400 filing fee paid late? I mean, you can ask that or not ask that. Honestly, you're just going to piss off the attorney by asking that, because you're just pointing out that he effed up. So you could probably just skip that one. The next thing, the next one, the other late thing that happened here, and then the judge is requiring basically a reasoning for good cause. All right, so go to May 10th, 21, Part 5. You see?
Could you repeat that again, please?
Go to May 10th, 21, Part 5. I can't give any more information because then I'll make it searchable, but go to that part.
Okay.
Take a look at that one.
Okay.
So so that's what you're really upset about. The claim was allowed to basically die. And you're cranky because you're like, why did you allow my claim to die? And that's reasonable, and I totally understand that. But if you point these things out, look, I'm not like a regular attorney. I don't go out to eat with regular attorneys. I tried to do that when I was, younger and in law school, and I hated being around other normal attorneys, because normal attorneys, they're egotistical monsters. They're ego monsters. And I was fed up with it. I didn't want to deal with that crap. I was done with it. So bottom line is, I'm going to tell you, if you bring these up, then the attorney is going to get crabby with you. And every communication you have going forward is going to be a Krabby Patty. And you don't necessarily want that. So if you want to play this the sly way, by basically getting him to give you information without showing that he was a total F up by missing a filing deadline, not filing the filing fee on time, all those things, what you can do is ask him those questions I gave you and ask him for a copy of the brief that's going to be submitted. And then give a deadline for when you can expect a copy of that brief. That's basically, yeah. And remember, at this point, all you're arguing over is how much back pay you're going to get. That's it. That's it. At this point, I'm assuming your new claim, you got SSDI benefits, right?
Yes, but actually, that's a good question too, because the first claim that I filed it as becoming disabled in May of 2017. Okay, when I filed my second case, Social Security found me disabled as of December 2019. So I'm thinking if the case gets remanded back to the court and I win, I would like to think that I would get paid going back to May of 2017. Does that sound logical? All the way back up to, coming forward to December 2019?
Well, what's sad is that you're not telling me why that would be a good date, which I'm a little worried about. You tell me, what surgery did you have? All right, what's the main impairment? What medical treatment did you receive back in 2017 that tells you you became severe on that point, ergo unable to work? You tell me.
Okay, it was mental,
okay,
depression, anxiety, PTSD.
Okay.
And when I filed a second claim, I actually had 2 surgeries on my wrist. So I'm inclined to believe that I won the second case based on those surgeries.
What were the surgeries again?
On my wrist, I have my left and right wrist.
Wait a minute.
It's a French term, but it's known commonly as mom's wrist. Even though I'm a male, usually females have it when they lift their babies up.
All right, let me look this up. I'm not sure what that is. I probably know the medical version of it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay. Yeah, no. Wait a minute. You didn't. All right. This is no. Maybe that was the thing that helped you get over, but that in itself. Right. Look. That in. Can you lift any weight at all?
Yes, I've gotten better. Yeah, to be honest with you.
Don't ever say that. Oh my God.
Well, after the surgeries, yes.
Oh no. Yeah. All right.
I should also tell you that I'm in my late 50s, and when I won my claim, they said I'm going to be reviewed in 5 to 7 years.
All right. Well, it's probably sooner now, but here's the thing. Because they keep changing the law on that. Here's the thing. You have to figure out. All right. Well, you tell me. Bottom line. When did your PTSD? When did your anxiety, your depression become severe?
And it started in May. I stopped working, and then I went into the hospital in July of 2017.
Why'd you go into the hospital?
I can tell you, I don't care. I attempted to take my life.
All right, so a suicidal ideation that equated to a suicidal attempt. Was it a Baker Act?
Yes. Say that again, I'm sorry?
You took yourself, right? Or did the police pick you up? Was it a Baker Act, or did you take yourself?
I tried to do it, and then I called the super, and he called the police.
Okay, all right. So you had a Baker Act on record. Yes. That's going to be a good point to claim that's when it was bad, but I usually like to pick the second Baker Act. Were there multiple Baker Acts?
No, just that one time.
Okay, why? What happened after that?
Well, I went to the hospital. I was there for 3 weeks, and then when I got out, I had to go to a partial hospital program for 6 months. And then I was getting mental health treatment all that time.
Okay, so, all right. Now, the treatment you were getting, I'm assuming this was outpatient with medication.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, and you had no additional crisis moments where you had to go to the emergency room or a mental facility?
No.
So then when do you feel that you stayed severe? Because you were severe, Baker Act, but then you became not severe. And now you have surgery showing limited hand movement and mental limitation. When do you feel prior to the new date that you were found disabled? What do you feel was an earlier surgery, an earlier moment in time where your mental or physical impairments show that you were severely impaired?
it was going back to that time in May, June, July.
Okay.
2017.
Why do you feel that was severe then?
Well, it got to the point where I was giving up, on life, and I attempted to take my life. And like I said, I was hospitalized for 3 weeks, and I guess I was able to stabilize it by going for treatment, taking medications.
What is proof that your medications were not effective at getting you back to work?
Even though I was taking the medications, I was still, having issues with depression, anxiety, and PTSD.
But what's the proof?
Well, just talking to my doctor, having problems sleeping and feeling tired all the time and feeling hopeless and, having, suicidal thoughts at times.
Is there a police report that states that? Is there another emergency situation where you went to the emergency department? Is there a time where your doctor kept swapping you out of the medications that you had because none of them were working? What's the proof?
Well, I know police, involvement, but I had to, my medications were switched up or the dosages were higher.
All right. I think you should have a very serious conversation with your attorney about when the alleged onset date would be, because it sounds like to me nobody really knows. That's just terrible. What the plan is for your claim. And I can tell you, as somebody that's listening right now, if you don't know what the beginning point is, and you've been through a hearing, appeals counsel, federal district court, actually twice on federal district court because the claim died and it had to be revived. If you've been through all of that and you still don't know what your alleged onset date should be, then there is a serious problem here. So before you do anything, you should research yourself, because it sounds like there's some representation issues, specifically why you were severely impaired back then. Because, it just sounds like a situation where you're not sure. It doesn't even sound like there's a situation where, let's say he wins on a technical reason, then what becomes essentially, what becomes your alleged onset date? What would you pick that the SSA would approve to show that you were severely impaired?
Well, one of the questions I remember asking him after he filed the case, when I spoke to him back in July of 21, I said to him, what are the odds, of winning the case? And he mentioned that nothing is guaranteed, but he said
oh God, I can tell you, he wouldn't have taken the case unless he knew he could win it or thought he could win it or whatever. I know. I hear that all.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
Oh, I always hear that. I don't know why attorneys don't give it like 5% effort and just give people a real response. Like all these people out there, guys, if you ever have an attorney that tells you, I wouldn't have taken the claim unless I thought I had a chance of winning it, that is industry standard for calming the claimant down and just getting them to get off the phone or get out of the meeting. Let me explain to you. Your follow-up question should be, what did you like about my claim? Is there something that you thought was particularly interesting about my claim, something unique? Where do you feel the medical evidence shows that I'm really severe? Those are great follow-up questions. And for some reason, my claimants always give me those. So I don't know why other people just give other attorneys. I have noticed, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but my life has not been like one of these. It's been a lot of like 5 times the work and like this much, success. And it's been a very different road than I think a lot of, but then again, I haven't had the easy claimants. I've always had the homeless, those who were rejected over and over. There was some sort of really bad problem with the claim. I've always had that because I just don't have big box advertising. But with your claim, I'm going to tell you right up front, the judge is seeking for the attorney to motion for something. I'm not opening all the things to read through it right now because we got to take somebody else before we hit 10. But bottom line is you've got an administrative problem of a revival of the claim. You have an amended alleged onset problem of figuring out, were you actually disabled back then at the severity requirements? And remember, there's a standard that's different. 2017, there were a lot of rules that were different, including the 12.0 rules for mental. So this isn't the modern rules here. This is the back in the day rules that are applying for the alleged onset date that you're claiming. So point is, go find out what your attorney likes about your claim back in 2017, you know?
Okay. Well, this is my final question to you, Walter.
Yeah.
Let's assume that I win the case in terms of having it remanded back to the judge.
Sure.
In a situation like that, what are the odds of me winning the case if it's remanded back to the court?
No idea. First and foremost, you have a bias on behalf of the judge that you're going back in front of, where the ALJs never like it when claims get remanded because it means they effed up. They didn't get it right. Now it's back on their plate. They've got to deal with it again. There's always a bias there. Number two is that, you know, you basically don't even know what date you're really going for based on what evidence you really have. I know what your attorney's going to say, your Baker Act, just going by your Baker Act. But it's usually better to have a fallback after the Baker Act that proves you continue to be bad after that treatment, which this doesn't sound like. This sounds like you got better after the treatment. So, you know, there's that. The other thing, too, is that this is a tough claim because it's a mental claim. And it's a mental claim that's trying to prove that, you know, you stopped working, ergo, you weren't able to function. Part two of this equation, you try to take your life. Well, the judge is going to ask you questions. Well, okay, well, what pushed you to the point of wanting to take your life? At what point did you decide that you didn't want to be a part of this earth? What were the means by which you used to go ahead and try to take your life? Were you on medications at the time that you tried to take your life? Were the medications effective? Did you just have a bad day? Did something particularly bad happen on that day that wouldn't normally happen? All these questions are going to pop up, and how well you respond to them and how good your medical evidence will dictate your success rate. But I don't know. And it depends on which judge you have. Some of them, you know, they're high percent passage rate. Some of them not. Some of them like the attorney you have. Some of them don't. Some of them like you as a claimant. Some of them don't. You know, there's a zillion factors here. It's not as simple as like, we're supposed to say as attorneys that it's all unbiased. We're supposed to say that. But I've been doing this a long time, and I can tell you the post leans. It leans. It's just how it is. But for the majority, it's unbiased, which is what's beautiful about it. Because, you know, with humans, honestly, it's never unbiased. It can never be perfect like that.
Yeah.
But it's pretty good. The way they got it, it's pretty good. But the point is, I would go, look, if I were your attorney in this, which I'm not, but if I were, what I would look at is I go through all the medical records from 2017. I'd pick out some dates that I liked. I'd go through the medical records in 2018 as a backup. And that's basically how I'd write my brief. I would have backups as my options because this does not sound like a claim that's super strong after the Baker Act situation that resulted in you being quote unquote severe. And, all right, let me ask you another question. Were you in a relationship with somebody after the Baker Act?
No.
Were you in
I
a...
was,
yeah.
Well, I was homeless.
Okay, so you were homeless for how long?
From August 2017 to April, I was living in a shelter. And then from April 2018 to October 2018, I was living in a hotel. And from November 2018 until 2 months ago, I was renting a room that was being paid for by social services until I won my disability case back in January of this year, and I started paying my own back in April of last year.
Okay. So basically, you've been in multiple programs for chronically homeless individuals, correct?
Yes.
Okay. What was the program that you went into in 2018?
2018, I was still doing outpatient services.
Okay. So you were still homeless throughout all of 2018.
Yeah, you could say until November 1st, 2018. That's when I was able to get a room.
Okay. All right, let's think about this for a moment. Then we got to take to the next caller. You were homeless throughout the entire period. You lost your job prior to filing. Baker Act occurred 2017. All the way November 2018, you basically got a room through a chronically homeless assistance program. Then you were program to program to program thereafter. Any drug abuse, tobacco use?
No.
Okay. No alcoholism, any of that?
No.
Why did you choose to live in the woods and not go in with family members or find a friend?
Well, I've been estranged from my family for a number of years.
Who did you try to live with in 2017 and 2018 who wouldn't take you in that was in your area?
Well, I was living alone and I was just isolated. I had no friends, to be honest with you. I wasn't in touch with my family members. I'm still estranged from them. So I was just by myself.
RV, car, woods, what happened?
I had a car and I ran out of funds. I had no money.
How did you get to the doctor's appointment if you didn't have money for fuel?
Well, as I said, when I attempted to take my life, I was not successful, and I got in contact with the super of my place. It was a nice acquaintance, and he was the one who contacted 911. So from July 2017, I went to inpatient for 3 weeks, and when I got out, I was evicted from my place, and that's when I went to live in the shelter.
So you got a tough problem, which is that for a period there, you went homeless, which means you couldn't really see much medical, which means you've got a blackout on your record. You fell off the map, and then you came back onto the map, latter 2018. And then when you got back on the map in 2018, you probably had improvement showing thereafter because you had a stable environment.
I guess you could say that, yeah.
Did you have any car accidents, wrecks, bicycle accidents, anything like that in 2017 or 2018?
No. The other thing that I also think that helped me with the second claim, to be honest with you, is I've had hearing loss since I was a kid. And when I filed my second claim, the Social Security agent or representative who was doing the interview with me on the phone, I gave him a lot of medical information, like my surgeries on my wrist, my hearing loss, and I think one more thing I can't remember off the top of my head.
So we got hearing loss, we've got limitations with the hands and wrists, and we've got mental impairments.
Yes.
Why did the hands and wrists, when did they get severe? What happened? When did you have the surgery?
Well, they started, one wrist started early in 2018 when I was still homeless, and I was going for therapy, and that never helped, and I finally went to see an orthopedist, and I was getting injections and therapy, and it's not helping. So I had my first surgery in October of 2019, and then I had the second one in October of 2020.
As a result of being homeless, did you have any issues with bodily function or limitation with movement, such as ambulation, anything like that?
No.
Do you have any children?
No.
So nobody was assisting you?
No.
How many days were you in for the Baker Act?
3 weeks.
That's potential there. Because you went in, you meant it, you remained on it, and 3 weeks. Look, the option, if it was 3 weeks, the option's got to be, you got to make the Baker Act essentially your AOD amended AOD, because that's going to represent a moment of time when you became severe and then went out, you were still homeless, couldn't work, ended up in a homeless program as a chronically homeless individual in latter 2018. You have to pick your Baker Act as your date. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing in between there. You had to grab onto that as any meat on it. Yeah.
So to just sum up, you're saying to me, just asking those specific questions, and I guess he shouldn't have any reasons for me asking him those questions, right? If he's a good attorney.
I mean, if what's a good attorney? Honestly, like if you ask him the questions and you get a good response, that means he knows the claim. You might ask him the questions in an email, let him figure out the answer, and then call you back.
Okay.
Because remember, we process disability attorneys hundreds and hundreds or thousands and thousands of claims. So, it takes a brain to be able to process that many claims continuously, keep everything going in the right direction. Here's the thing. I mean, your SGA or your middle-aged onset date of the Baker Act is going to be your strongest bet. But I think somewhere in there, you should probably get some letters from people you interacted with as a homeless person to support your statements, showing that you were not getting better while you were homeless thereafter as a result, and that you were still having issues, but that because you feared going back for 3 weeks and wanted to just remain away from people due to the Baker Act, that's why you basically stayed out of the hospital during that time period for the rest of 2017 through 2018 to November,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay.
All right. Perfect.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you very much for your assistance, and I will stay in touch and let you know how it's progressing.
Absolutely. You have a wonderful, wonderful night, okay?
You too, Walter. Take care. Thanks again.
Thank you. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. I missed a couple of phone calls. Let's call the next person. Let's keep it rolling. Let's see what we got. It's ringing. Let's see if we can get this person on the phone real quick and keep it all rolling. Here we go. Second ring. Here we go. You guys know how this goes. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Knott. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Would you like me to run hearing questions with you or answer a specific question?
Yeah, man. I got you. I'm watching you live on my computer back here.
Sure.
I love you, man. You're good guy.
Yeah, thank you, good sir. I appreciate it.
I got a question. It's listen. I do have Social Security disability, and maybe a lot of people would not one. Sorry, man, it's late. Would want an answer about this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting paid a considerable amount of money for my Social Security disability.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's almost $3,000
mm-hmm.
a month. Okay, my wife is a lot younger than I am,
mm-hmm.
and she still works, and she's probably making about, I don't know, $80,000.
Mm-hmm.
I live here in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to have to pay taxes on my Social Security disability?
Your SSI. I mean, are you working right now?
No.
Well,
no. I got banged up bad. I'm done.
Yeah, no, you're not gonna be paying. I mean, all of those funds are from the SSDI program, right? There's no auxiliary thing that's feeding money to you.
No.
Well, then, yeah, I mean, you're not gonna get taxed on those. You should be okay.
Okay, so what I'm saying is my wife is making some pretty good, a chunk of change, and I'm obviously making about $30,000 on Social Security.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to get taxed on it?
Why would you get no, you're not making any money, and you're an SSDI, which means they don't do an analysis of, deeming, which is an SSI program thing. SSI element 1 has deeming. for both, kids and their parents or husbands and their wives or whatever. But the deeming, it's not a deeming element in SSDI benefits. I mean, I'll do a quick check to see if they change the rule. You have no additional income coming in, right?
Nope, I don't. No, and I'm happy to be like this. I'm happy to be retired. And I'm banged up, man. Like I said, I hurt, man. But yeah.
All right, so I'll read you exactly what it says. Some of you have to pay federal income taxes on your Social Security benefits. This usually happens only if you have other substantial income in addition to your benefits, such as wages, self-employment, interest, dividends, and other taxable income that must be reported on your tax return. You will pay tax on only 85% of your Social Security benefits based on Internal Revenue Service rules. If you file a federal tax return as an individual, and your combined income is between $25,000 and $34,000, you'll pay up to 50% of your benefits, a tax on 50%. If it's above $34,000, 85%. But remember, there's two elements here. You got to get your benefits and have substantial income. So do you have any substantial income that you are creating?
Not me, just my wife.
Yeah, no, that's like different person. That's a human being that's separate.
Yeah. What I'm getting at is, should I a divorce?
Well, it says if you file a joint return, you and your spouse have a combined income that is between $32,000 and $44,000, you may have to pay income tax on it. You would want to file, I guess, separately. I've never really been asked this question. And file a separate tax on your private pay tax on your benefits. Yeah, but that's like you don't have income yourself.
No, I don't. But my wife is substantially doing really well, and like I said, she's like 12 years younger than me, and she's making a good chunk of change. And I'm thinking, well, wait a minute, what's going to happen here?
Let me find the statute. Hold on.
That's all right, man. I love your show, man.
Thank you. Yeah. Let me see.
That's not a show. It's advice. It's not a show.
No, I mean it is a show. I mean, but let's see real quick. How much of your Social Security income is taxable? We just went over that. Hold on. When is Social Security income taxable? To determine when Social Security income is taxable, this is from H&R Block. You'll first need to calculate your total income. Generally, the formula for total income for this purpose. All right, blah, 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 blah. If you're married and filing jointly with your spouse, your combined incomes and Social Security benefits are used to figure your total income. Then you'll compare your total income with the base amounts for your filing status to find out how much of your Social Security income is taxable, if any. You'll see that that you fall into one of three categories if your total income is below the base amount. I mean, and remember, this is a tax question, and I'm not a tax attorney.
Yeah.
So what I would say is this. I mean, I'm not sure if you file separately, if you're going to get hit with this. I mean, if you file together, it looks like you're going to get hit with this.
Yeah, and I'm worried about it. Like I said, my wife is substantially, she's a lot younger than I am, and she's working. And now I'm on Social Security disability, and I'm getting like almost $30,000 a year. And I'm worried that I'm going to get hit by taxes. It's crazy. We pay all our lives, and then I got to get taxed again.
I'm just looking for something directly from the IRS. Your benefits may be taxable.
I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, it's up to 85%, but it depends. If she's earning that much more and you file jointly, then you could run into that. If you're married and file a joint return, you and your spouse must combine your income and Social Security benefits when you're figuring the taxable portion of your benefits. Even if your spouse didn't receive any benefits, you must add your spouse's income to yours when figuring on a joint return if any of your benefits are taxable. So the question becomes, if you're not earning anything and you don't file a joint return and you file a return separate from hers, would you essentially still get taxed?
I don't know. Or better yet, should I just get a divorce and act like I'm single? And I mean, it's sad. It's kind of sad that it's come to this.
No, I don't think you need to get a divorce. I think you just need to call a tax attorney and ask them basically when it would be taxable. Can you essentially file as a single individual, separate from can your wife file her own tax return? Are you forced to
I'm
file?
sure she can. I mean, I get that part, but yeah, that's why I called you. And you're not a tax attorney, and I get it. But it is. This is going to be a very interesting part of my life because I did get Social Security disability last year, and I did get rewarded a big chunk of change. And I don't know if I had MetLife. I worked for Raytheon, a company. I had MetLife insurance, and I thought MetLife insurance was when you got disabled, they would pay, part of your income. Well, now they want a big chunk of that back. Not only did they get a big chunk back when I got my disability and awarded. It's not a award. It's the money that I got. They want that back as well, and I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah,
but
that's a different gig. That's where they're fighting over basically the back pay. Since you got paid for those months in which you received other funds, they're attaching to them because they don't want to have to pay you for those months that you receive back pay, or at least they want to be comped for them. So all I'm finding here over and over is just okay. In this case, you would check. All right, so here. It's possible to collect spousal benefits based on, in this case, you would check the box for single filing status on the Form 1040 income tax return. Your benefits would be taxed as follows based on your total income. If your total income is less than, but that's not income. You have no income. I would call a tax attorney and ask them specifically because that's just not something I'm sure about. But, usually the way it works is an individual who has their own, benefits and isn't earning income will not get taxed on their Social Security disability insurance benefits, including the back pay that which you receive. But yeah, they're taking back pay from your insurance company for paying out those like long-term disability checks to you while you're waiting to be found disabled.
All right. Well, I thank you for your help, man. I tried to sort this out, and I'm still very confused, but I'll try to settle this. I can't wait next couple months to go to my accountant, I don't know, and try to figure out how this is going to work. Because this is a very complicated time in a person's life when you are on, finally on Social Security or Social Security disability, and you got to try to get this stuff figured out.
Yeah, I don't know if you're forced through the IRS tax code to file with your wife or what the deal is there. I don't know. I'd be interested to hear what a tax attorney would say about that. But yeah, I'm just not sure of the answer myself because until I would need time to look up the tax code to see what the specific outcome would be, see if there's any case law on it, because I don't want to get bit in the butt and say one thing and then have it be something else. But I guess the big thing for me that I see here is what status do you intend to file as, and is your spouse going to be somehow attached to taxes?
Yeah. Well, either way, I mean, I can sort it out. The IRS can send me the bill. They can go to hell. But, yeah, I'll figure it out. And thanks for your help. I really love you, man.
Absolutely, good sir. Have a wonderful night. Okay, so let's do this. Okay. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Knott. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Would you like me to answer a specific question, or would you like me to go ahead and run hearing questions with you? Okay, perfect. How can I help you?
Okay. My question is about the Ticket to Work program. My first question is, do they actually pay attention to the type of job that you get?
Well, I mean, they review it and then you report to them. That's kind of part of the gig is that, you have to update them specifically on what's going on with your income. They're aware of it through what's reported to the IRS, but if there's something that hasn't been reported to the IRS. All right, help me out here. Give me a little fact pattern to why the question's relevant.
Okay, the question is relevant for me because I, of course, am getting disability, but my question is, I want to return to work. I want to get something like CNA work part-time, and so I'm just wondering if the part of my disability was is like having spinal stenosis, and so I'm wondering if I get a CNA part-time job, is that going to be like a red flag for them? Because I had like good days and bad days. It was a combination of things, but that was part of my diagnosis. So I'm wondering if I get like a CNA part-time job, is that going to be like a red flag for them? It'll be like, okay, well, you're off if you can do CNA work.
Well, I mean, so it's not, when you do a ticket to work program, the whole point of it is to essentially create an environment where you get a job, have a career, get off of disability benefits, and have 5 years to make it all happen. So, I mean, I don't think they're really going to care what industry you jump into to make that reality happen, or occur,
Okay. And the next question is, I keep hearing conflicted things. Like, I'm trying to research it, but I'm hearing conflicted things like you can make, I know about the trial work period, that you can make a certain amount without triggering that. But then I'm also hearing about the SGA, and I've heard like conflicting things. You can make as much as you want. If you make more than the SGA, then they'll kick you off of it as well.
Wait, so are you an SSDI or an SSI?
SSDI.
All right, so the PASS is not going to affect. All right, bottom line is this: when you have a trial to work period, you get like 9 months to go ahead and earn whatever you want to attempt to go ahead and work. And during that time, they're not allowed to, hit you for, earning over a certain amount or doing a certain thing or whatever. So the whole point there is, it's a trial work period to see if you can go back to work, and they're not going to penalize you for it. But once you get to like month 10, then you better have a ticket to work set up. Otherwise, you're going to be not eligible for the program, because you'll be working and earning likely over SGA, which is substantial gainful activity, $1,350 for 2022. So kind of the bottom line is, you've got to make sure you have part 2 set up a third of the way through this whole, working 9 months thing.
Okay, so the trial work period, that amount I could make over that, but then that would put me in the category of looking at the SGA, right?
Well, yeah, after the 9 months. Okay, so here's the thing. After the 9 months, you're not protected by the trial work period program. And what happens is, you can, during those 9 months, you can earn over that. But the point happens is this, you only get one of those. And after that, you have to have a ticket to work program set up. Like, you only get one of those trial work programs realistically for this disability claim that you had, that you started, that you won. So you have to make sure that, going into month 10, you're set up at the local field office to, essentially take that next step of being on a contract where you can work and earn and keep your benefits over a 5-year period, in which case at the end of it, they take away your benefits.
Okay, cool beans. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember, those 9 months, they don't have to be consecutive. So like, you could work a couple, try it out, doesn't work out, work a couple, try it out, doesn't work out. You can break them up.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. You have another thing too. Remember this: if you work a little and it doesn't hit, the amount. Hold on, let me look it up. I can find it. Hold on.
Okay.
Because there's a trigger point for trial work periods. and I got to find it. Okay, I found it. All right. So in 2022, the trigger point is $970. If you earn over $970 in 2022, that triggers a trial work period month. So, in trial work periods, that's always SSDI kind of gig. So the point here is, any month you earn over 970, it triggers it. If you earn under 970, it's just going to be, considered a work month. And if you have, a bunch of those in line, it could potentially put you into a continuing disability review. But if you haven't used up any of your trial work periods, it's unlikely that they're going to go ahead and take a second glance at you to see what's going on. So you got your trigger at $970. SGA doesn't matter during each one of those months, but just make sure you use them wisely. If you're going to earn money in a particular month and you're just going to try it out, make sure you earn the most you can. That way, when you triggered that month and that month counts, that you used it wisely.
Got it.
Perfect.
Yep.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful day. A night. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, guys. So it's 10:05 p.m. I gotta wake up early. I gotta go to Fort Lauderdale and get my little snuggle doggies. I just want you guys to know that the dogs have been really well taken care of, and they've done really well. Basically, Sweetie has been eating 4 to 5 times a day. That's how spoiled she is. We joke around that she's the little Jewish American princess of the house. This is after meal 5. There she is, looking to get meal 6. She's an adorable dog. She will eat you out of house and home every single time. I'm telling you. But either way, guys, I will catch you a little bit later. You have a wonderful, wonderful. I know I made it through the Atlanta soda. I'm tired. I'm sweaty. I'm worn out. But either ways, I'll catch you guys a little bit later. Have a wonderful night, and we'll go from there. Please remember to like, subscribe, and leave 5-star reviews. The 5-star reviews, how to leave them, is in the bio below. They help me be competitive against big box firms who have millions of dollars to advertise. So help me out with those 5 stars. I'll catch you guys a little bit later. Have a wonderful night, and thank you so much. Bye-bye, guys.